So I also wanted to point out that I don't tell everything I know and just part of it. And another thing is that I don't know whether you, Richard Gabriel, are the same person as Edgar Mendex or not, whether Edgar Mendex is also Mexican MGTOW. I don't know. I think this all looks suspicious to me because you say you used to be in the military. You say sometimes that you are Armenian, Richard. So it looks like you are here to be my fake friend. But if you claim that you just switched accounts with this Edgar Mendex, and then you under the name Edgar Mendex, you typed that you care about my son, and then you also have these yellow and blue hearts, in the form of Ukrainian flag. That's very funny, and that's your true colors show. And then I see just a comment flashing up my screen in notification saying that you are in the US. So I don't understand why then you are talking about Boris Johnson's vs Vladimir Putin. Why you are not talking about Biden and Vladimir Putin, that they are the same. So you saying that you are in the US and you are so why would you be talking about Boris? Why don't you talk about your own president against my president? Well, he's not my president. I'm just saying that this American, allegedly American, I don't know, he looks like one of these Mormon, homeschooled, inbred English seed, or even Swiss seed. He looks gay to me. He doesn't have any Adam's apple, but maybe he's hermaphrodite. So I'm kind of lost. He has name Lindsey Graham. So I don't understand. He is now he's just recently been in Ukraine talking about American taxpayers' money, and he was talking about how the best way to spend money is to kill Russians. That's what he said, word by word. This is quote. So the best way to spend American taxes, best money spent, and you can find this on the internet. Just recently he said that from his own mouth. So there is no way to spend otherwise US taxpayers' money but to kill Russians. That's very interesting. So if you are in the US, then worry about that, because I assume there are once you said that, once this stuff is said, the karma will ensure. And yeah, this type of balding, like this Hunter Biden thing, it's a sign of syphilis. That's what I think. And yeah. And the British killed my man, okay? And what happens in the micro world, reflects on the macro world, the big world. The small world is the same as the big world. So basically my man wanted to be with me. He didn't want to be with a inbred Canadian citizens, let's say, working for MI5, MI6, that is British seed. Okay, he wanted to be with me. And for this, he was killed. And the same way, if you are in the US and you are typing to me this comment, that means that in your head, that's how your head works. You still believe that you are a colony and Boris Johnson and not your President Biden or not your military generals is who calls the shots, you know. And I just wanted to note that there are fires now in Canada, and I'm going to tell to Canadians that, it's because of my son. You are paying for my son. You are paying for stealing from my son because my son did nothing bad to you. And your citizen fucked up my son. My son suffered a lot, much more than Jesus that you worship, okay? So, for fucking up with my son, from stealing from him, you will pay. I know in your head, my son's life, how my son's suffering means nothing, and your children, your citizens' children, shouldn't die because of this. And you're not responsible for another Canadian, something that they did, stole 2 houses from my son, and that's why thousands of your homes shouldn't burn in these huge fires, but I think they should. And I enjoy watching you, Canada, being on fire. This is just the beginning for you, because you don't understand that you are suffering for my son. And as long as you say that you are just a small person, you don't know anything, I know that your country is just a big village and you know everybody there. You can find this broken cunt who stole everything from my son, until you put one and one together. This is just a warning for you. This is just the beginning. Until you make your citizen pay for what she did, this thing should be in prison. Until you realize this, you will keep on burning, and the worst is yet to come. The worst is yet to come. Get this, Canadians. This is what I'm telling you, that you should pay for what has been done to my son by your citizen. Anyways, I'll move on to this other topic. Yeah. In many ways, this war for independence, this struggle in the United States was successful. The independence was against UK, and in many ways it was successful due to Russians, and in many ways you prosper because of Russians. And this Canada and part of California used to be Russian land. Not Canada, I mean Alaska. So if you're gonna be talking about killing Russians, your senator that you elect, your representative, you collectively elected him, then expect more hurricanes, expect more floods, expect more destructions to your land. That's what I'm telling you. And that's the same thing. You see, United States wanted to be friends with Russia. And to prevent this, in Churchill times, the MI6 took over the government of the United States, and United States became its colony again, covertly. So when you go as much as to take a person's fundamental right to choose whom to marry, whom to love, whom to breed with, when you purposefully send to your US officer somebody because you know that he's going to be, let's say, in a certain bar at a certain time because you watch his phone, you surveil him night and day, and you send this honey trap there that says all the things that he likes because they studied what he likes, because she looks what he wants her to look, because they studied his phone, they went from his phone, they found the type, they found what he wants women to say, they found what they want women to be like, to act like. This is all an act, you know, and you set up this trap for him, and he fundamentally has no freedom of choice. You take this away from him and you make him a slave, covertly, not in an open way. So just like you prevented, you British fucks, British freaks, prevented Russia to be friends with United States, and together, if there was such a union between Russia and United States, there would be great achievements in all the spheres. There would be heaven on earth built by now. Everybody would prosper. There would be great scientific discoveries. Everything will advance. But because of this inbred aristocracy from United Kingdom and Switzerland and Dutch and whatnot, because of this shit, we have what we have, and Europe is going to plunge into the Middle Ages, and United States is going to be wrecked by hurricanes, floods, and fires as well. The fires from Canada will move eventually to United States. So anyways, for each of your words, you will be held accountable. So this Lindsey Graham piece of shit, hermaphrodite, will also answer for this. And British freaks, this war was your last. Trust me, this war was your last. Believe me when I say to you, your island is going to be destroyed. Your island is going to go underwater. That's what will happen to you. Don't tell me you haven't been warned, anyone of you. Okay? Because it's time to pay. It's time to pay. Yeah, that weird red sun over Canada is very weird because it's some alien shit going on. I'm telling you, this is an alien shit. And I suspect you have some kind of underground cities in this Canadian National Park, and they are being burned now. I think it's an alien civilization doing this, and that's why you are on fire. And you also are paying for my son. Okay? Like this, sometimes my man comes to me in my dreams. Last time he came, he asked for water. Then before that, he was telling me, let's go into the chopper, and we were riding on this helicopter, Black Hawk helicopter, and now your Biden president is falling down during their US Air Force Academy last day of graduation, and then he hit his head onto a chopper. That's for my man. Canucks, you are going to pay for your citizen fucking with my son. For what you did, for maiming my child, you Canucks are going to pay. Okay? So, also, I'd like to mention that I wrote many letters to US military organization, US military base, describing what has happened to my man and my little son. Nobody helped us. Nobody felt sorry for my son. From all these people whom I ever wrote, only one Canadian man said, "I'm sorry this happened to you." From hundreds of people, only one Canadian man was conscientious enough to tell to me that he was sorry for his citizen. Now remember this, Canada. You are going to burn, and then you are going to fucking be in the flood and in the poverty and in the frostbite. That's what will happen to you. And then these Ukrainians will flood you. Ukrainians will no longer want to be in Europe, and they will flood your land, and you are going to get destroyed economically. They're going to fuck up everything. I promise you, you're gonna see criminality, selling drugs, scamming. You are going to see syphilis and other STDs, and corruption in your politics, and a lot of horrible shit that Russia has been tolerating. Don't thank us. Don't thank us. So, tears for heroes. Spanish soldiers cry as they say farewell to Ukrainian troops they have been training and present a guard of honor as they return to fight Putin. In final farewell, the unit lines up to salute the departing soldiers. So these NATO soldiers, they cry about Ukrainians. Nobody felt sorry of any military man, of any policeman. Nobody shed any fucking tear for my little son. Nobody. So everybody feels sorry for this grown-ass Ukraine military man. Suddenly, I saw this video and I know what it's all about. These Spanish freaks, they were fucking this Ukrainian military up their asses, and they are their lovers. That's why they cry, because they fuck each other up your ass, and that's your NATO army. And if you think that they are big and they look athletic and they, it's just some shit keto diet, made from critters, and your muscle mass is made from critters, and that just means that you are going to die soon. And you see what's in my screen now. This appearance doesn't come so easily, just like that. So this Ukrainian, you see that this is somebody born from the parent who fucked an animal, in this case goat or a lamb, because there are consequences. There are consequences if you fuck an animal there will be consequences. If you don't take antibiotics and very strong therapy after having this sex with the animal, or syphilis, what they call it, is coming from sex with swine, so you are going to have consequences, including your child is going to be born with a certain teeth and a certain face, and in time your own face will morph into animal face. This is how important bodily fluids are. Okay, there are pictures on the internet what happens to person with syphilis, the old pictures, from the old days, the paintings, and don't think that this will just go like that. And yesterday I made a video about this shapeshifter reptile. I'm telling you, they are made in the in vitro labs, and in order to activate the sperm they add frog's eggs, because they can hibernate. They can, when the weather freezes, when they can freeze, and then they can unfreeze. That's what activates them. And their eggs, and then they lay eggs. Okay, there is something in their bodily fluid they use on the human sperm and human eggs that they keep in the freezer, and then for them to unfreeze they use that, and then the person ends up looking as a reptile. Then the person ends up shape-shifting. Okay, and I didn't show you everything, because I was showing you just one little video of these 3 people, but I tell you, this is a cult. This video that I showed you was showing something about catered to Islam, but they have videos on their channel catering to Jewish people. They have videos catering to Christian people. They have videos for those who believe in alien civilizations. They cater to everybody. And one of these cults is a US presidential candidate. They have presence in Africa, and this is an anti-Christ movement. This person I just said to you, pay attention to that guys in that video that I made yesterday. Pay attention to his eyes. He is not shape-shifting, but he has some kind of white light in his eyes. It's not a flash from the camera, it's his own light. He has some kind of lightning, electrical light coming from the middle of his eyes. And I'm trying to tell you this, but nobody notices it, what I'm trying to tell you. Also, this guy, I saw it on TV, he demonstrates some kind of a pyramid in his cult, in these little buildings that they live in as a cult. They say that they can teleport there, they can have this electromagnetic field created, and they claim, so they show all these Mayas and Incas, these Peruvian pyramids and other pyramids of the world, and they talk about, in their videos, they talk about these invisible flying little snakes, which are electricity, that you can direct them, you can attract them to certain objects, like some flying balls or something, silvery balls or something like that, to spiral shapes. So anyways, he also shows that there is, like, for example, there is a dead bird lying. So they kill the bird, then he comes up to the bird, he touches it, and the bird becomes alive again. So he definitely has electricity in him. So he does some kind of electric charge through his fingers, which he demonstrates, and he also that's how he made the bird alive again, like this machine that we have on the ambulance cars, you know. So that's what they're talking about. They're talking about this electricity thing inside a human being, and he said that in the future we will be able to manifest everything that we want just with our thoughts, just by putting trash in a device that will look like microwave oven. So you basically will be putting a trash in your container, and in your thoughts you will be able to program this microwave like device, and you will get out of this little microwave oven fruits, vegetables, whatever you want, because they will be able to split molecules and put them together in the configuration of any material objects that you like. So anyways, this is the world that we live in, and in Russia it's the same shit, like when this person Jana shown shapeshifting. And I'm telling you, you're not paying attention that she was shape-shifting into a reptile eyes. Her brown eyes changed to the gray color, and then the core of her eyes started to be vertical, like a reptile. Okay? So anyways, what I wanted to say. In Russia, they said that they showed this woman when this was, when this took a lot of, when this became notorious, and when people started to spread the video of her shape-shifting her eyes, and her openly admitting that she is a reptile, they made a video saying that, you know, this was some kind of Photoshop graphics, deep fake, that they moved, some layer in the video, and within the video they were able to edit it, and that they specifically inserted eyes of a reptiles, cropped it from the reptile and pasted it onto her. But no, I don't know why would they show these exposure videos in Russia of her shape-shifting, because they understand maybe that a lot of people seeing this, they will go crazy. A lot of people will have heart attacks realizing that this shit is for real, that she's a reptile, okay? That some part of her is a reptile, okay? And yeah. And the bottom line, it all adds up in orgies with this guy. So all these women end up in orgies with this guy. So I wouldn't say that all these Ukrainians are suffering much, you know, in Poland or anywhere else. So, yeah. Yeah, this is what he does with this pyramid. You see? They made a clone with a red skin or brown skin, I should say. This one is from Switzerland. Egon Cholakyan lobbies in the Congress of the United States in the White House House, a participant in the project team Laboratory CERN Future Ring Collider, Hadron Collider, and a group of users of National Complex of Laser Thermonuclear Reactions in Liverpool National Laboratory, named after Lawrence, lecturer, member of International Association of Teachers for the Reconnaissance. And he has reptile eyes. He has reptile eyes. You see? They are all reptiles in that creative society movement. Let's read on. Egon Cholakian, specialist on international tax law and physics of elementary particles. In the beginning of his career, he works as analyst of tax law enforcement and was appointed in the Commission of the President for International Trade and Investment Politics in administration of President Nixon and Ford. At the dawn of his career, he works as an analyst of the tax law legislation in kitchen cabinet of President Reagan in the White House. And during his work, Egon Cholakian served within 3 presidential administrations and 3 ministers of finance of the USA. At present, he is a federal lobbyist in Capitol Hill and registered as foreign agent in Department of Justice USA. He has qualification of analog level in physics of elementary particles and materials, and his name at this moment is mentioned in 4 volumes of research report for the laboratory of CERN Future Ring Collider. See this reptile? So I'm just saying that he has Armenian surname like you, Richard. I mean, you have surname Gabriel, so they talk about this Yellowstone and how US will go underwater, you know. Anyways, they are everywhere in all the languages, and they all shapeshift. You know, all these clones. And yeah, that's sad thing to watch, all of this. And I just wanted to say that British freaks that whale me should know that this war is your last. This war is your last, freaks. And I also wanted to show you what I call British Heart Foundation. This was taken from a GoPro camera from a Ukrainian soldier that died. So he was recording on he lost he couldn't find his friend, so he went into a nearby tent and he found that he walked into them to their heart extraction operation of the British Heart Foundation. That's what they do to Ukrainians.